So I'm bringing you the best in the business. I'm bringing you somebody off the stage of a woman who works at Good Morning America. She only has the best in the business on her stage. And that woman told me that you could trust my money and my finances with my life with this woman. Not only will she show you the details of how to track what you need to know being in the business, especially direct selling business, and know how to keep those details in line, but she's going to be so freaking entertaining at the same time. You're going to have a great time in a minute, so let me introduce to you the managing member, owner, certified public accountant, she's far from boring, well met her, advanced certified QuickBooks Pro advisor. Here's a good one. This woman is top 25 most powerful women in accounting for 2012, 2013, and 2014. Top 40 under 40 by CPA Practice Advisor. Woo! Top Intuit Trainer, Writer Network, MSNBC, your business consultant, and co-host of the QB Show Live, none other than Dawn Brolin.
Nice. Can we do that one more time? Because that was really great. So that's awesome. First I want to start off by thanking April, of course, and the team for having me down here to beautiful Atlanta, where they call it Hot Atlanta, because we're in Connecticut, so it's cold Connecticut. I don't know if that really works, but so I want to thank them first for allowing me to come down and share with all of you the importance of doing accounting, and will be really boring. No. Well, we will not. We will be entertaining. We will learn. You will pay attention, and you will do as you're told. Those are the only ground rules that I have when I come up and I'll work with people. But if some of you will notice, as we're in business and things happen and you travel, who travels a lot? Stuff happens you don't even really notice. So anyone in the room here who is fashion, a lot of these people know fashion and stuff, you may notice if you even looked at me yesterday that I'm wearing the same outfit. So I'm wearing the same outfit. I'm behind the podium because I look much thinner. So I like being back here. But I have the same outfit on because I have a different outfit because I have a new necklace on today. Very pretty, very style. Works for me because I'm an accountant, and I'm a jock, so that's a wicked crazy combination. So anyway, the hotel, I got here on Wednesday, and the TSA has me pegged, so they search my gear all the time. And so lotion all over my black dress pants, the boring black dress pants. So I said, hey, can you fix this? And it's really lotion, you know what I mean? So can you just take this and clean it for me? And then they can't seem to find my pants. So it was either the same outfit as yesterday, or I was wearing jeans, which I thought would be disrespectful. So that's the explanation, so we can get that elephant out of the outfit. Because you know what, I know you're all wondering. And then the second thing, again, just want to get this out of the way. People think a lot, and I want you paying attention to what I'm saying. Not that I look like Melissa McCarthy or sound like her, because I will throughout this whole presentation, and that's fine. So I'm really excited to bring you the secrets of Rockstar Accounting, and Araya asked me to kind of give you a little bit of my background and where I've come from and what I've done, and I'll stand behind the podium because I got the camera over to the left over here, so I'll stand to the right of it. I don't really need the microphone at all. But I've been doing accounting for 15 years. I guess I say I've been doing accounting since I was 16. When I was 16, I decided I wanted to be an accountant. And I was a jock, so my friends were really confused. Like, what do you mean? Don't you want to be a gym teacher? And I said, no, I don't. I want to do accounting, and I love it. So I went to school with the purpose of being an accountant, which is also weird, right? A lot of people go to school, and they're still trying to figure out what they want to do, and that's all good. Well, I went with full intention, got my degree, left school, and managed a package store. I mean, who doesn't do that? Like, isn't that why you go to school? So anyway, we got through that traumatic experience, got married, had kids, and decided that wasn't a good idea either, which is not true at all. It's not true, but it's still kind of funny. These are the baby girls, and so when I had them, I said, man, I gotta go to work. these guys are way too much work. I gotta go. Let me go where it's easier. So in 1999, I decided to start my own accounting practice. Now, I had an accounting degree, but I didn't know how to run a business. I mean, they don't teach you how to run a business, but they teach you how to track it. So I went to, in business for myself, and I was on my own for 4 or 5 years, hired a couple people here and there, and decided to get into a partnership. That's an interesting decision to make. Did that for 6 years and 3 months, and then decided God's like, hey, here's the 4x4. I know some people get hit with a 2x4 when God's talking to you. Well, he uses a 4x4 on me, which that's because I'm very stubborn. So the whole personality thing, I know none of you can figure out what I am. So anyway, so I did that. And but during that time when we had first started my accounting business, my husband and I were in Amway. So we were in network marketing for 8 years. We understood the business. We learned a lot. We learned a lot about people, personalities, love languages, all those kind of things, which I think are so critical in any business that you're in. It really doesn't matter whether it's in Christian Bling, if you're running a car dealership, it doesn't matter because it's always about the people when it comes down to it. So every industry is different, but the people are always the same, aren't they? So we learned so much from that, and then I brought a lot of that into my accounting practice. And I don't know why I have a crazy personality, and I got into a little bit of trouble because I do believe in carrying a pistol, only because I go into some very sketchy situations. You get the client call, and they're like, yeah, can you come and do my books? And I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll come to your house. And then they're smoking pot and playing guitars. And so, you don't know what you're going to get into sometimes when you're an accountant who will go on site, right? So anyway, needless to say, a lot of things happen throughout business. That's kind of the point. But I really have enjoyed the journey, and I love it. And I love working with small businesses, and small is relative. I think the word small is relative. But I love working with small businesses. And of course, my children, I'll start crying, so we're not talking about them. But anyway, we're going to get past this little slide right here. But I do want to show you my team. So I love listening to last night to you guys talk about your team, and everything that's in your paperwork is about your team. Everyone should build a team. When you're building what you're doing, you're building a team. We do the same thing. And this is my team. We're a little strange because we really believe in that. So we're Team Brolin. And so this was a picture we took in one of our team meetings. We're a bunch of crazy people. And so we actually had 3 staff a year ago, and we've doubled to 6. So in 1 year, which is cool, and I'm like, I don't want to build a business. And God's like, well, you're building one. But I don't want to. Well, yeah, you're going to have to. So you're going to do what I say, or I'm going to make things really difficult. So, I listen, but it takes a while. Anyway, so I love this, and I love this because the team that I have, we've been able to allow people to work remotely. So I have 3 moms who work from home, and they have kids. One has a baby boy, he's a year old, right? Awesome. And he, so she wants to work from home and work when she can. And it's very similar to what you're doing as moms, right? You have children, you have family, you have husbands or spouses or whatever, you have commitments to other people. And so you can do this when it works, and you can work it into your schedule and make it happen. Well, I've allowed that for my staff to do that because their kids and their family are number one. And we have clients that we're responsible for, but they come first. And without this team, that's Kevin. Now, really a little funny story about Kevin. So he's our college boy. And he is graduate with an accounting degree, and he's just like, I don't know, he's like the boss of all of us, right? So he's just like he's our man, and he's like, anytime anyone needs to go somewhere, he'll give someone a ride, or he'll pick things up and go somewhere. But I love his passion and desire to get better every day. And so I had an interview so his name's Kevin, and my husband's name is Kevin. So I was having kind of a conversation with the vendor, and Kevin was in the office, and he popped in and said, oh, hey, what's going on, Kelsey? And so they'd never seen him before, and they were like, I know they were thinking about it. So I saw her a couple weeks later, and I'm like, oh, this is Kevin. And she's like, oh, nice to meet you. I go, okay, this isn't my husband. And they're like, oh, we were wondering what was going on. I'm 44, and this guy's 21, right? So they were like, you're a cougar, Brolin. And I was like, yes, I am. Okay, so that's the story stuff, but whatever. So we're going to talk today about defining you're in business. So everybody here know that you're in business, raise your hand. Just raise your hand, I am in business. Because first of all, if you haven't realized that, today's a good day to recognize the fact that you're in business, right? So I know that that's kind of weird. And so being in business comes with responsibility in 8 million different ways, right? And none of this will be to scare you, it is to prepare you. So what my job is here today is to give you the information you need to be a business owner and not to scare you. Not that I'm not intimidating, wait till bowling tonight. Because that's going to be something. Anybody winning team right here, I'm telling you right now, or my teammates will go down. So be on my team, it's totally cool. So we're going to talk about why tracking your information in your business matters. So what's important about that? So we're going to go through a little bit of that. Financial management tips to help your business succeed. Understanding what is an investment in your business versus an expense in your business. And people are all about this. What are the write-offs? Well, you know that a write-off, if you have a write-off, that means you've taken money out and you've spent it. So people are like, oh, but you can get so many write-offs. Okay, but then you're not going to make money. So that doesn't make sense to me either. So there's also a cash flow portion that comes along with that, right? But I also want you to make sure you understand the difference between expenses and investment. And there's a component that I bet, well, I would be surprised if anyone in here really understood the fact that your time is worth money. Anybody? Anybody starving for time? Like, I don't even need a bottle of water, okay? I really need some time. Even if it's 15 minutes with nobody asking me a question, right? Because that's what happens. So how can we make sure we're tracking the importance of not just money, but our time, and how does that all come together and work together? Accounting terminology, we're going to go through some simple things on the accounting technology. Anybody here an accounting major? And so you can be my double check. Okay, that's good. And then I have technology recommendations that you're going to all fall off of your chairs onto the floor, because technology for me, I literally walked up here with this MacBook, which by the way, you can do PC stuff on here, that's a whole other story, with my MiFi card, because I never know if I'm going to have Wi-Fi. I have an iPad, which is how she had the information for me, in my phone. And I can go anywhere in the country and do work for my clients anytime. You can, whatever is good for you. Oh, you want me to play that? Yeah. Oh, I see. So you want to see it? Yes. Oh, that's weird. Okay, you want to see it. That's fine. And you guys are wicked picky. No, I'm totally just kidding. So we're going to talk about technology, which is what we're spending a lot of time on. I'm going to give you guys some tips that are real tips. Like, I want you to learn how to learn on your own. You don't always have to pay people to teach you something, right? There are so many awesome tools. Like, client will call me up and they'll ask me a question, and I've got 3 monitors. It's like it's command center in my office, right? I've got them all, got food containers all over the place. I'm watching all across America what's going on. No, I don't, but I do have 3 monitors. But yes, they call me up and they're like, hey, Dawn, here's a question. And they ask me the question, or they email me, hey, how do I do this? Google, YouTube, copy, link, and paste it. Here you go, look at me, I am like a genius. That'll be $250. Really? Come on. So I'm going to teach you how to do that yourself. Copy and paste. Use Google. I'm going to teach you how to be like a Google expert, which I'm not. So information, of course, is power. And I know that you have a back-end ordering system. I've been learning about kind of what you guys have. So guess what? You know all about your orders, right? And you know about how much everything's costing you in order to make these orders. You know what your profits are, just probably from your back-end system, right? But after that, there's so many other things that are happening, and there are so many responsibilities that you have. And if you have information to run your business, it's power. When you can look at what's called a balance sheet, for those that you don't know, that's the most important part of your business. It's a balance sheet. What does that mean? It's how much money I have. This is how much inventory I have in stock. This is how much I have in assets like displays. That's a beautiful display rack that someone had up here just a minute ago. That could be a $200 rack. Well, that's an asset to your business. You didn't just spend $200 on a display rack. You just invested $200 into something that's going to continue to make you money over time. Really important to know the difference between those things. If anyone starts glazing over, I'm coming at you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not lying. I don't have anything to throw at you today. I felt you're all really beautiful, fancy people, so I didn't want to whip like softballs at you and stuff, which I normally do. So we want to make sure we're recording money going in, money going out. And guess what? Please, I beg you, have a separate checkbook. Does anyone here have already a separate checkbook for Christian Bling business? Okay? Awesome. There are your leaders in accounting. So if you have questions, just call. Have a business checkbook. Guess why? Because you all declared a little bit earlier that you were in business. So do not put that in your personal account, right? First of all, when you start making a whole bunch of money, you want to share that with him? Right? That's your money, man. That's what I'm saying. So, recording the money going in and going out, please do not commingle that money. If anything, you need money in your business, right? We all start out, if you don't think you're going to invest in your business, you're lost your mind. Okay? Everybody that starts, every single person that has started in business has invested in their business with, guess what? Money. Okay? And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. So we've got to invest. So if you need money in your business to buy your displays, to invest in inventory or inventory displays, or whatever you have to do, you write a check or you do a transfer, depends on how technology savvy you are, take the cash out from under a mattress, whatever you got to do, put it into your business bank account. That is an investment of your personal money into your bank account, okay, into your business bank account. You don't have to go out and form an LLC. Anybody know what that is? That is not a corporation, by the way. People get wicked confused over that. We say wicked in the North, right? Yes. You know what I'm saying? We're Connecticut out here today. Like, we got it all. We're almost outnumbering Atlanta people. Yeah, there's two of us. So, but just the same, having that money in that business account, not commingling those funds, is a separation of what we call entities. So substance over form, the IRS says, hey, listen, they are in business for themselves. Because if you think that the IRS thinks that you're in business when you have a personal account, you're running money through it, they're like, you're not acting like a business. You're running money through your personal account. You're commingling things. That they're like, they already become like, hey, what's going on? Now, they don't really know that unless they audit you, and you probably walk outside, get bit by a shark before you're going to get audited. But just the same, always be prepared, right? But you're establishing a business, so that's really important that you do that. To record the money going in and going out is really, really important. This is a really fancy slide, by the way. So you guys, I can certainly provide you all with this. And somebody put in some of these. You have to click every time to get the thing to come up. I'm like, can't you just have it just in here? Anyway, managing your customers and managing your sales. And I loved the conversation that you had last night about tracking people. I had 9 people at this show, and I made an average of $70 for that particular show. And maybe your back end is helping you prepare that. How are you tracking those customers? How are you following up with them? And how are you interacting with them is just as important as anything else. So that's part of tracking information. The information is power. That's a piece of it, right? Oh, I went a little bit too far. Because you guys will love that part. So the cash flow, money going in, money going out. Just because you put money in doesn't mean it's income. So when you take money from your personal account and put it into your new business account that everyone will have by Monday, or I'm going to freak out. That's where the demanding part comes in, right? Because I really want you to protect yourself. And I want you to treat it like a business. And guess what? Your significant other or yourself, if you're not married or you're not with somebody, it could just be for you. You will find power in establishing a bank account. That will be one thing, and the majority of you in here don't have that. You will walk out of that bank like, I'm a business. Like, you point at people on the way out the bank and be like, I'm a business owner. What are you doing? So you can do all that kind of stuff. It's really fun and powerful. Anyway, so then of course you have your cost of goods. So when you buy, you have people, they make orders. So they pay you, and then you've got to pay for their orders. How you do that logistically. When you pay for those are called cost of goods sold. So it's the cost of the jewelry that you're buying and reselling. It's called cost of goods sold. So you have things like that are happening on a regular basis. And of course your sales that are happening. One of the most important things is number 4, which is called compliance. So are you in compliance? What does that mean? Number one, again, are you acting like a business? Because people say that business write-off thing, business write-offs, business write-offs. Are you in compliance in order to take those business write-offs? So that means, how many people have been told at least 50, 60,000 times that you can write off a portion of your home? Okay, you know what, you can. But there are requirements around doing that. You can't just go, oh yeah, man, I like have parties in my living room, so I'm gonna write that off. Okay, the IRS says no, because you got 4 kids. This one girl's got 4 kids in 18 months in this room. I love her. Because I love her because it isn't me. You know what I'm saying? So they, you have to have a designated exclusive home office space. You have to know how much is your full square footage of your home, and then what is the square footage of that home office, and it becomes a percentage. You don't have to know how to do all that. Find someone who does, okay? And God bless you. And you document it. The compliance part is, don't go to an accountant and go, yep, 25% of my home is for my business, because I park my car in the garage and I use the car for business. And I go to the bathroom when I'm working. And so, it's not 100%, okay? So don't listen to people. So just know you're in compliance. And how about business use of vehicle? Who loves that, right? And then you're like, how do I do that? You have to have documentation. There's a simple app, and it's on the last slide. It's called TripLog. I think it's free or it's $1. I don't even know. You literally open the app, push start, and when you get to the place, and it GPS tracks you. The IRS loves that. It GPS tracks you, and when you're done, you push stop. It's my favorite app. I want start, stop. I don't want, I went from here to there, and then, who wants to do that? I don't want to do that. I want to go start, stop, man, right? That's compliance. Making Wi-Fi. Well, we're going to get to the business write-offs, and I'm going to make you guys geniuses. You're going to be like, wait till you see how I know how to look up business expenses. I'm going to answer your question. I had so much fun hanging out with you at dinner last night. I'm just saying. We were in the corner observing. Is what we were. So anyway, I want to make sure we move on a little bit. We talked a little bit about assets, liabilities, okay? So assets are simple, everything your business possesses. So things that are material that help you and you use over and over and over again, like a cell phone. A cell phone is an asset, okay? A cell phone is an asset in your business because you're scheduling parties, you're doing this, you're doing that, right? I'm a conservative, yet aggressive to the gray line, so that's confusing. A CPA who says, hey, listen, as long as we document it, you can't write off 100% of your cell phone because your kids call you and you text your husband and you do all this stuff. So let's not be ridiculous, but let's at least just say, hey, listen, you do have to have a cell phone for your business in order to run, so we're going to take a percentage of that. Maybe we're just going to take the standard line or everything against the standard line. You have the internet because you have the cell phone, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the internet part and some of those other pieces. I don't understand why, really? I'm not done with this part yet. Are you done? This is not done yet. Okay. Liabilities. You're going to have liabilities in your business. It could be a business loan. You might go get a business loan. That's a liability to your business. It did it again. Well, you know what? Don't look at the slides. Look at me anyway, really. Seriously? I'm wearing the same outfit 2 days ago. Just the outer outfit, by the way. Wow, you guys.
Thank you for clarifying. We're not judging.
Well, I know. You're not judging. I already got that. I already know that. You know what? I don't judge people either. You know why? Wow, there's big, huge pieces of wood in my eyeballs. I'm like, should be blind, honestly. I put my watch on upside down. I just want to make sure I know for timing that I'm good. My mom just bought this for me for Christmas. I'm not really a jewelry person, though I love this. And, so I just want to make sure, because Araya thinks I'm going to stop after an hour. Which isn't she adorable? Bless her heart for thinking that. She's awesome. So, we're just going to move to the chart of accounts. We're going to talk a little bit about this. So, chart of accounts is the big technological term for what are you spending your money on? What is coming in as far as income? So, your chart of accounts defines your company. And it should tell a story. And so we have something called a profit and loss statement. And that tracks the income that comes in, the cost of goods sold that you spend, and then all the expenses that happen after that, which we call overhead expenses. Those are operational, things that you have to spend money on in your business in order for it to operate. But they're not necessarily a direct cost of you selling jewelry. The jewelry is the direct cost, right? So you have your income, we call it gross sales, and then we have gross profit, which after cost of goods sold, we know, okay, we sold $10,000 worth of items, we had $6,000 in cost of goods sold, we got $4,000 left. Now what do we do with it? So we've got money. First of all, don't share it. No, I'm just kidding. You can share it. But we've got $4,000 now left over in our company that we now have to pay a cell phone bill. We have to pay for advertising. Maybe we want to have a website. Maybe we have to pay for a domain. Maybe we have to pay for telephones. So maybe we have a separate line. Some people have a separate line for their business. And so that's an expense to the company. So what happens is in the chart of accounts, you're developing what makes sense to you. Do not create toilet paper expense. Because that's, if you even have an office, it's office expense, right? So you don't want to make your chart of accounts be 6 pages long, because you should have a profit and loss that is 1 page that says, I brought in this much money, this is how much it cost me to bring in that money, and this is what I have left over to pay for other things. So, and that should tell a story about your business. And then what's really exciting is year after year, you can compare that, which helps you with budgeting, right? So you should have budgets already, and then you can make projections based on what's happened historically. Now this is all, I understand this is a little bit boring, but it's really, really important that you understand that these financial reports, they're not financial statements because you're not been audited by a CPA firm, blah. They're financial reports, management financial reports. You should be looking at them I won't say every day because that gets me a little aggressive. What is it, the C personality that has to know those details, right? So I'm a C psycho. That's me. Like, I look at my reports, I reconcile my bank accounts, I look at my accounts receivable. You don't deal a lot in accounts receivable unless there's that one person who made a big order and never showed up to pick it up. I don't know what your policies are, but you want to make sure you never have accounts receivable. Never chase money. Like, you guys probably already have that all figured out, right? Nobody chases money in this room. Raise your hand if you've ever chased money for your business. My favorite. Okay, well, you're fine. You're probably not.
My real job.
Yeah, that other job. Yeah, don't do that. We gotta get rid of that thing. So anyway, so having that chart of accounts defines your business, and that's why the balance sheet is so important. So those are some of the kind of the boring things. I do have a little sample chart of accounts and all this. I'll make sure that I share this with everybody so you can, I know you'll all read it after the fact. There will be a quiz. But I know you will because I love you. So I'm just telling you right now. So I'm going to get into the technology. So I've kind of just given you a background of the things that you really should be doing. I've already given you one app, TripLog. I just found it because I am an S Corp, so I'm an LLC, but I'm treated as an S Corp. So there's different entity levels that you can be. And when you're an S Corp, you can't have unreimbursed partnership expenses. So I have to pay myself for my mileage. So I have to track it. And so I use this TripLog and I send reports to myself, and it already knows all the federal updates for the rates and everything. Like, it's beautiful. Like, it makes me look like wicked smart when someone calls me and I go, oh yeah, it's this much. Like, I really make the technology make me look really like a genius. Okay, and really it's the technology that's letting me do that. So I want to show you a couple things that I have here in my little secret well of information. Number one is the IRS website. Woo! Who did not want to know about the IRS website? Come on, really. Okay, rule number 1, tax season, you get a refund. Don't anyone in this room ever call their accountant again and ask when it's coming. Because they don't like you. I'm just going to be honest, okay? Because there's this thing. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to show my best side. No, I'm going to come over here, and there's a thing right there. Where's refund? Get your refund status. If you know your Social Security number and your refund amount, it will tell you to the day when it's going to hit your bank account. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Again, they're like, Dawn, you know that? I'm like, I do. They tell me, they call me. IRS website just like you would. Come on, man. But what I do love, this is what I do love. because you all have a million questions about taxes, and I gave you a couple of ideas on the home use. You asked about the internet. The internet, if you're paying for your whole, you probably have like a package. Like I have Charter, so we have our internet and our cable for television and for the kids, and for and our phone line, whatever. So we have all that, and it's all in one bill, right? So what I do is I pay the portion that's for my internet because I need it for my internet. I need the internet for my business. So I write a check to Charter out of my separate business account for that amount for the internet. Because now, again, I've substantiated, hey, this is for my business. This is required as part of my business. It's in my bylaws. Who has those? Well, we won't go there. But someday you'll have bylaws, right? You'll need to have them because you guys are going to grow huge. But you notice here, the IRS, just like anyone else, and they've really improved their website. I'm not promoting the IRS, trust me, but they have, their website has gotten so much better. You can literally go here and go business expenses. You can just type in the search there, and it will say deducting business expenses. Form 2106, employee business expenses. So this here, if you click on it, deducting business expenses, is going to give you, what can I deduct? What can I deduct? It says it right there. What can I do? What's cost of goods sold? You know, how do I use business use of car, business use of home? It's all right here. The IRS website will tell you a lot of information. If you're looking for a transcript on everything that has ever been filed for you personally, you can get that information on the IRS website now. You never used to be able to do that. They've gotten big improvements on the website, and I'm not promoting them, but I'm just saying they're getting it together. They're trying to get at least the information together, right, to the 21st century. But there's this little request. Let's see, get transcript of your tax records. See that little tools button there? So if you ever want to know what's been reported on your behalf, you can go there. Anyway, those are really good fun tips. But what I want to talk about, how are you tracking your money in and out? How many people here have an accounting system? That sounds fancy. Accounting system. Okay. How many people use QuickBooks? Because I love QuickBooks. I'm not going to lie. You know why? Because it's easy. And I like easy things. So, if you do not have a QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop, it's fine as well. So some people ask, like, Quicken. Can they use Quicken? I'm going to say you can use the business version. I personally am I've been working in QuickBooks for 15 years, so that's what I love. Doesn't mean that Quicken for Business is wrong. It's the same company, right? It's Intuit. But as long as you're doing it, as long as you're tracking it. I used to go to seminars and teach small businesses and say, oh, at least if you put it in a notebook. That's a lie. Oh, at least if you put it in Excel. That's also a lie. So I decided to stop lying, right? That's not right. I've never lied to people. But I really believe that there are investments in your business that you have to make. And I got to tell you, QuickBooks Online, you can get the simple start version for like $8 a month. Like $8. So QuickBooks Online for me, I think would work perfectly for you. You need to know your money in, your money out, and you should be looking at reports on a regular basis. I'm just going to assume that on occasion you have somebody chowing in your ear about, hey, you making any money yet? You making any money yet? Punch him first, and then we'll talk to him after that, right? I get that, okay? And so my husband doesn't ask me, trust me. People always ask me, what does he do? I'm like, what he's told. Nothing more, nothing. He's really an amazing guy. Anyway, so money in, money out, and QuickBooks is really a great tool. Now, just so you know, if you do email me, because I'm like one of their favorite people, you get a 35% off to your subscription for the life of your account through me. Yeah, so 35% is a significant difference. And it's through the life, though. If you go online and go to their QuickBooks Online, they'll say free 6 months, and then it's the normal price for the rest of the duration. So I'm happy to pass that discount on to you. They need to know that I told them that you're my favorite people. That's all it takes.
Just email you?
Yeah, you can email me and I'll give you all that. I'll get you that at the end. And I think I have 4 business cards. I am not a paper person.
I don't tell.
I don't even have a pen. Like when people are like, you write something, I'm like, do you have a pen? Do you have a piece of paper? Or can I just pull your arm out and I just write on them, sign my name. But let me just tell you, I want to follow up with just that. A lot of times I teach, hey, sign up for QuickBooks Online, which is awesome. If you're somebody who loves the PC and you want it on your desktop, or you just want, you have the software, you want to have the CD, cool with that, you can use QuickBooks for Desktop. And you can also have it hosted. So there's just some other options than just QuickBooks Online. They have QuickBooks Desktop and you can host it. So those other things is something we want to talk about, and I'm going to be here for lunch, so if anybody has questions, everyone will just meet with me during lunch. It's no big deal. I love that, and you can even follow me in the bathroom. I don't mind that either. It happens all the time. I'm totally used to it. But what I want to show you is YouTube. Seriously, this is YouTube. I'm trying to make it bigger for you here, but this is YouTube, guys. Okay? Well, how do I learn how to use QuickBooks? Go to YouTube. There's 6.89 million videos done by people for free that you just type in, how do I start a bank account in QuickBooks? And you'll get 600 different videos from wonderful people. A lot of them I know. They're great people. And they're out there, and you know what? They love to put videos up. People love to put, you guys put on like videos about fashion and how to put on lipstick. Like my daughters watch that. I don't know how to do any of that, But I mean, if you want to learn how to do QuickBooks, go to YouTube or Google it, right? So the tools are right there, and I think that's really important for people to know. That usually I always forget to tell people, use the tools that are there, the Google and the other things like that. Okay, now we're going to get into this right now. This is where it's serious business. This is a time tracking system. This is not a free app that you put on your phone and you're like, oh, awesome, it tracks my time and I do this and that. This is actually a powerful time tracking engine that will give you insight into what you are doing in your business, how much time are you spending in your business, and what are you doing. So are you marketing? Are you driving? Are you on the phone? Are you doing administrative work? Going to the bank? Are you setting up your QuickBooks? You're working on that. What in the world are you doing in your business? And some people, hey, who works till midnight? I was up till 2 in the morning this morning. I know, that's horrible. Because we got a big IRS case, and it's super fun, and I love it, so we get it done. But this time tracking, this is my T-Sheets time tracking right here. And you know what that's telling me? So I have a business and I have multiple employees, okay? So it's a little different than if you're a sole prop and you're working on your own. But the concepts are the same. So right now, I am logged in under marketing. So I know how much marketing I'm doing right now, right? So that's what I'm doing here. But you notice, Jen Murray and Kevin are not working. Oh, there you go, Kevin. You better. Did you see him just log in? Did you see that? Yeah. Wait, I'll text him right now. And hey, we just watched you log in. Where have you been? It's like 11:40. You're supposed to start at 10. What's going on? So I was just, I know what everybody's doing and what client they're working on. I don't mess around. I know exactly what's happening. But what I love the most about this is that it tells me what I'm doing. So I can literally go into a report with this software, and it's not really hard and fancy, like seriously, you can totally do it. So I can go in and I can do project reporting, and I can say, I want to do it for a custom date range, and I'm analyzing my business. So you guys are analyzing your business, what's happening in your business. So I can say, okay, I never put it in right. It's 2014-0101 to 2014-12-31. I don't know why, we gotta work on that.
So that's in QuickBooks.
This is a separate app, but it links with your QuickBooks file.
What's the app?
It's called T-Sheets. And so I say, I want to know just Dawn's actions. What is she doing? What did she work on for the year last year? And look what this tells me right here. Here are the percentages. I can drill in. It'll tell me, filter by, here's my administrative time. I had 443 hours and 43 minutes of admin time last year. Now I can go even deeper into that to know if it was marketing. Was it working on my own books? Working on my staff? Was I in education? I'm required to take CPE. Were I training people? Were I? I don't know. I don't know if I was or were. Spending time with my team. Because you guys are forming teams, right? And you can help your teams do the same thing. See, you're the leaders of this whole darn thing. I learned that last night. You guys are like the bosses of the boss. Like, I know there's a top 100, but this is the group right here. This is the group of people that's going to go out there and just crank it out, and crush it, right? We're crushing it? Is this group crushing it? I'm saying, now that takes on a whole nother responsibility, people. Because don't make me come back in a year and find out that you haven't been doing what I've been telling you. Because I'm crazy. And I know where all your cities are. I learned that last night. I'm good at memorizing. But tracking your time and knowing what you're doing in your business is just as important as tracking the money that's going in and out of it. Because we are a money-starved, time-starved nation. We're a time-starved nation, and people will say, you know, I just worked 7 in the morning till midnight. Well, you probably do. But on what? What are you doing? How much marketing are you doing? So you did a whole bunch of stuff, and you had a party, you had 15 people over. Well, I know that I spent 10 hours recruiting, getting 10 people to that thing, where another time I only had 5, and I only spent 3 hours. Well, I see I need to spend a little bit more time in marketing in order to get that 10 people.
So do you break down your day, like you're there, and like 11 to 1, you're going to do on the phone, recruiting, whatever. So you
Right.
log it in 11 to 1, you know, like 2 to 4, you did, you know, party planning, fundraising,
Right.
like that's how you log it in.
So she's asking about how to log it in. So the best thing is there's of course an app for that. I don't live on any function of anything unless there's an app for it. So T-Sheets, which everyone is required before the end of the day to download it onto their phone. If you don't have enough room on your phone, we're going to delete a whole bunch of pictures. But don't worry about that. Your kids, you remember them. I mean, look at them. Come on. You see them every day. It's no big deal, right? We got to get that stuff in Dropbox, for goodness sake. But T-Sheets is an app where you can clock in right from your phone, and you say, these are the things I'm doing. I'm doing administrative work and I'm marketing. Clock in. And you do all your stuff, and when you're done, you clock out. And then you say, okay, now I'm spending time with my family, so I don't need the app right now, because you're not going to track that too, right? Because that's silly. It's not part of your business. And then later on, maybe at 7 o'clock at night, you start making a few phone calls. You got to call your team. You got to that might be team time. You may call that team time. Because you know what? I want to make sure you're spending time with your team, because they need you. So how does that all work out? And so we can work together to make that happen. So T-Sheets, it's a lifeline for me. I had bronchitis for a week. I never get sick because I refuse to get sick. And so I was, though, and it was horrible. And so, of course, I was watching the time, and I'm like, who's working on what? And I'm doing the emails, and I'm emailing. They're like, will you just stay in bed and stop watching us? You're watching us all the time. But anyway, that's just kind of fun when you have staff. But it's really important to come in and look at these reports to say, hey, I grossed $15,000 last month in sales. How much time last month did I spend marketing for that $15,000? So if I know I want to go to $30,000, I may have to double my marketing time. Maybe you don't have to double it. Maybe you only have to increase it by 25%. But if you don't know the information, you can't analyze it. Like, how are you going to analyze it if you don't know it? You can't say, I average 4 hours a day I do stuff for my business. Like, really? That doesn't work, right? I spent 4 hours with my kid. Well, he was watching TV and I was over here doing this. That's not the same, right? So we want to make sure that we're getting our time back and be respectful of ourselves, period. Respectful of ourselves and respectful of our families. Because we're taking time away from them to do this. So let's be responsible. That's what being in business is, being responsible. That's what's going to happen if you don't do what I tell you, right? It's serious. It's really. I lost a lot of years with my girls, but they get it because they go to New York City now. 15 years later, we've seen Rock of Ages 80 times. We've seen Mamma Mia. You name it, we've seen it. Went to the Rockettes. We do all that stuff because I sacrificed their childhood, is what I tell them. And I'm like, just deal with it. Yeah, you got a nice new car when you turn 16, you brat. No, I'm just kidding. Really great kid. She has 3 jobs. She's wonderful. Anyway, so time tracking. And then the last piece that I want to talk about, and then I want to let you ask questions. This is really cool. So how many people love tracking who loves receipts? Who loves to have receipts? Oh yeah, I love receipts. I just want to make them my comforter, right? I want to make them my comforter in my bed is a receipt. So I got my phone under here because this is how I roll. So this is an app called Tally, T-A-L-L-I-E. And they're, again, another one of my favorite apps. And so, literally, I just pulled this receipt out, but you can take a picture of the receipts that you have, because you know what? You have to have those Do you know you have to have receipts? You have to have receipts. You can take a picture of the receipt. This better work, or I'm going to get really upset. This is going to be a really great demonstration. Use photo. So I just took a picture of this receipt right here, and now look what's happened. There it is. There it is.
So then you can throw the paper.
Is this the garbage? There it is. I'm done. I'm done. I just chucked it.
Truly not a paper person.
I am not a paper person. So here's what happens. I you guys love that. Is that the most impressive thing you've ever seen in your life? I'm not lying. If I'm lying, I'm dying.
By spring ahead?
By spring ahead. There's an app called Tally. And yes, of course, they love me because I promote this because I use it every day. I use T-sheets, and I'm like, hey, what are you giving me for a special discount for my people today? What do you give me today? So T-sheets normally gives only a 14-day trial. Well, you guys will get a 30-day trial. Okay, it's a 25 for sold props. It's $25 a month. You know what? I've spent $25 on really worse things, right? Like Rock of Ages. It's really an appropriate show, but I'm from the 80s, man. I love it. So using Tally, I have to check the pricing, but they will give you a 60-day trial. I don't remember what the pricing is. It's like $20 a month, maybe $15 a month. It's an app. You can download it. It's by Spring Ahead. And what happens is you literally open the app on your phone. You take the picture of the receipt. It uploads it, and you can access it through your web browser. And now I can say first of all, you can do one of two things. Use it as a receipt storage for backup documentation for the IRS. You can print this into PDF and save it on a CD. Someone said bring them a CD to me a couple weeks ago. I was like, what is that? Listen, I was there for the VCR tape, but I'm still just saying about the CD. But here it is, electronically stored for you. Now, the other thing that happens is this will also sync with your QuickBooks file. Wow. So don't get freaked out.
Your phone gets wet.
Yeah, it's done. Once you take that picture and it's up in the cloud, you're done with your signature. What's that? And the picture doesn't even show up. It just goes up to the app.
And then to sync to QuickBooks, do you have to code it?
Yes. With all apps, you have to code it. But they work so seamlessly with QuickBooks Online. The setup with QuickBooks Online is so seamless. The customer support for them to help you set up the app and how do I work it? What do I do? They do all that for free. Like you just don't have someone help you do it. Call them. As a matter of fact, because you're my friends, which I don't have a lot of friends, honestly. I really don't. Yeah. So my daughter tells me that, so I always say that to her. I'm like, but I'm your friend. She's like, but you're my mom. I'm like, yeah, but I'm the coolest mom you know, man. And you know it because your friends tell you. But think about that. So now with the IRS, you've got your receipts. You've got your mileage tracking. You know how to do the business expense, home use expense. You're tracking your expenses and you're tracking your money coming in and coming out. And it all syncs together. You don't have to be an accountant to produce a balance sheet or produce a P&L. You need an accountant to help you make sure things are in the right place, but nobody has to sit and hand key things. We have a client who has 4 entities, and they commingle everything. And, so I have to take blood pressure medication for it. No, I'm really not a blood pressure. But I really I sometimes want to fist fight them because they commingle. So we said, okay, listen, you are where you are. And so we'll meet you where you are. We'll bring you and we'll teach you and coach you. So we use Tally for them so that they write on the receipt which entity that expense is for. So when it downloads into QuickBooks, we know which entity to put it into. So it doesn't just don't feel like you have to all of a sudden become this technology guru. Because you don't. But if you can do some basic things, and I always tell people, don't eat the elephant, and that's disgusting. Eat a toenail, like a little piece at a time, which is also disgusting. But it's all relative, right? Take those 4, so there's 4 really important apps that we talked about. QuickBooks. Again, Quicken is fine, Quicken for business.
There's a free QuickBooks Online.
It's a,
So you get it for so many days?
Yes, for so many days. It's like another trial thing. In QuickBooks Online, you will get a 30-day trial. So all these apps, which I can help you with, don't worry, don't freak out. I'm going to give you my email address. I'm going to get your email addresses from Araya, and I can send all of you links to all of this stuff so you make sure you get your discount. I can also make sure if you tell me, yes, I want to know more about this app, I can have them call you directly. You know, you don't have to do this hunting around thing. They will not call you unless I give them permission.
Will you also
But
send
that's
us
how
this
I roll.
presentation?
I will give you my whole computer. You can just take it. But I've got to tell you, so you've got your QuickBooks, you've got your time tracking with T-sheets, you've got your tally for receipt tracking, and you've got trip log for your mileage tracking. And it is the perfect time of year, people. Yeah. 2014 has passed. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but it is already gone. You can start this now so you have 2015 in order. Because once you do it and you are able to just, you gotta know your numbers, you're gonna walk taller, I promise you that. I have horrible, I'm in my chair all the time. But there, I've gotta get that desk thing where I can stand up. I'm not sure if I'm that coordinated, but this is your time as the leaders of this, in my opinion, and the leaders of the team, all the teams. Whether you are in a team with someone here, which I know my beautiful friends over here, are in a team together, they're still leaders of an entire team that works with them both. Doesn't matter, there's upline, downline, irrelevant. You're all in this together. Because the more you succeed and you can help others succeed, everyone succeeds together. I get all that. So don't mess it up, is all I'm saying. Don't do it. And I'm going to stay, and I want you to come. If you want me to help you, I will get you the stuff set up. You give me your email address. We'll get y'all lined up, and we'll do it. But a week from now, you won't. So you decide to do it, and I don't care if you pick one thing. If you want to just help me to help you load up the apps on your phones, I'll sit here all day and load apps on your phones, whatever you need, iPads, whatever, and help you find the apps, make sure they're right. So I'm going to give you, got 5 minutes of questions. You have to raise your hand. This is school. We're in school right now, and you get to be first because you raised your hand first.
Yes. 3 questions.
You can only ask one.
But I already have the answer to one, so I have 2 left.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll see.
All right. My most important question is, when we purchase items, like I purchased my initial inventory, and some of those items I want to just keep, but some I'm going to sell. You have a party, the sales go through the website and taxes are paid at that time, but how do you recommend that we handle it that we're being honest with the IRS about the income we're making when we sell something from our inventory?
Right. So that's a really great question, because sometimes you buy things and they're part of your inventory initially, or you bought it expecting to keep it. So I bought this. Big broken fingers, trust me, anybody comes near me with this. But I let's say I bought this and I intended to keep it, but my friend Mary, she has to have it, and she wants it. It's the only one. There aren't any left. So when I purchased it as an advertising cost to my company, right? Not an inventory item, because I was going to keep this so that I could show it and wear it and be part of it. That's an advertising expense to my company, which you guys are hooked up by the whole. You get to wear jewelry from the same company, and you write it off. But, because for me, this wouldn't be an expense for me, and neither is your clothing, by the way. Clothing is not a write-off to you, so don't let people fool you. It's totally, unless you have your name of your company on your, you'll see me tonight, because I'm going to be in my uniform tonight for bowling. Team Brolin will be present tonight, and that's a write-off, because it says Team Brolin on it, right?
Bling, hats, t-shirts, things
Awesome.
like that.
All advertising, absolutely. But I'm talking about like pants that the hotel lost tomorrow. Those aren't a write-off, right? So your question was, how do you handle that from an accounting perspective? And that's definitely something that April, maybe we can work together, where I can help develop kind of like an accounting procedure-y manual type of thing for at least the basics of how do we, when we purchase an item and this happens, we purchase an item, where do I put that? So that's inventory. And we're not going to track inventory by items because you don't really carry big inventories. You have some inventory. Right. So it's like order on demand, right?
I'm sorry, but isn't her question more based on sales tax versus income tax?
So sales tax,
It's
both. So we, I don't totally understand. Are you handling all the sales tax on your end?
do.
So that's already part of.
Except if you do cash and carry, and I don't know, this is Elizabeth, I don't know, we need to ask David. We never asked that question. How do they do sales tax when they buy cash and carry? I don't know.
We have to
So-
collect it and then submit
So they're responsible. So you are responsible for cash and carry sales and sales tax, and I have an awesome app for that.
So you know what?
I know you can't believe it.
But they've already paid us sales tax.
They're covered.
They're covered. So
Yeah.
you've already paid us sales tax.
So here's the thing. So this is the thing about sales tax. Everybody in this room lives in a different state. And do you know what the biggest thing is in the IRS and in Congress right now? Is Nexus. You ever heard of Nexus? Yeah, they're all over people selling in different states. And whether they're shipping it to someone or they're cash and carry and they're over, I'm in Connecticut and I drive to Massachusetts and I sell it in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Well, I sold it and it changed title in Massachusetts. And do you know that there are attorneys and that's all they do, and CPAs and that's all they do is sales tax? So there is a company that I recommend because we do not want to be experts in sales tax, but I can tell you if you either have a CPA that is an expert in sales tax. If not, this company it's great.
You just contracted with somebody. What's the name of the
Avalera?
Is that the one we're using, Elizabeth? Do you know? I
Avalera?
don't know. That might be the one we're using now.
Wait, I can tell you, I don't know my phone.
I mean, that is one of the apps. Did we contract them? Oh, no, I don't. Neil, we do. We hired a company because it's the cheapest way to do it.
Exactly. So hiring and outsourcing sales tax issues,
Yeah.
and it's a big deal for what you're doing, especially for the cash and carry. So how do you stay in? And that slide with number 4 was compliance. That's a huge compliance issue.
If we ship it out of state.
Right, well, and that's all, the Nexus is happening right now. So what you need to do is find an expert company. I happen to recommend Avalera because it syncs with your QuickBooks file. A-V-A-L-A-R-A. I actually have it in the PowerPoint. So, let me push play. You guys don't want that. That's accounting. You don't want that one. That one's really boring. Don't save that. Right here.
On the
You got it?
It was at the bottom of the page before.
Yep, here it comes.
Oh.
Come
Can
on.
I just clarify something?
Yes.
So if we bought the item and paid sales tax already on it, and then we resell it and pay sales tax, do we have to report that sales
So
tax?
technically, you're supposed to report the difference. So if you sold it for a profit, right? So it totally depends. If you're doing cash and carry, there's a lot of sales tax issues with that.
Right.
If you pay sales tax because you bought it for $50 and you sold it for $100,
Right.
you paid sales tax on the $50. And where did you sell it?
Right.
Did you sell it at your state? Did you go out of state? Did you go to a trunk show? Did you go? I mean, there's a lot of things that you're doing. I told you before. I'm looking over her face over here. It's my friend. Who's that? Last night too. Don't be scared. Be prepared. That's the whole point of this 1-hour presentation. Is for you to get enough information to prepare yourself as you're building an empire and you're helping other people and you're bringing other people into your empire. You are the leaders. I said that before. You need to be prepared for that. So Avalera.com, they're very, very reasonable costs for outsourcing your sales tax. It does sync with your QuickBooks file, which I love because I don't want to do anything extra. And then there's Bill.com, which is also
And
great.
we'll work with John,
Yeah.
our accountant, and we'll get you. And for now, when you sell the cash and carry, don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
don't worry about it
figure
for now, but we will work together to help solve those issues for you so you know what to do. I'm gonna let her ask. I'm not going anywhere, so don't worry. I told you I need 4 hours.
Do you need a checking account for every different business that you're in?
Yes, so she asked, do you need a separate checking account for every separate business you're in? And I would say yes. So I have a rental property, separate checkbook for that. So I have an accounting firm, I have a separate checkbook for that. And then I have a personal account. I don't really do anything else. I don't have time to do anything else, right? But I have 3 totally separate accounts. Make sure you have that. That's compliance. And one last question, is that okay? Rhea's so cute. She's not gonna take me down. I totally can take her. No, I'm just kidding. She is. How can you not just want to hug her? Go ahead.
For time tracking for our day, are there certain categories that you would say, like 4 simple categories of breaking up your day?
Yes, absolutely. So 4 simple categories for you guys. You guys, right? Wicked awesome. You guys in that area. It's all good, y'all. We're in Georgia, Atlanta. So 4 simple ones. So there's, as far as what I would be tracking if I was you. How about that? I would be tracking my marketing time. I would be tracking my party time. Which, by the way, I misinterpreted that when you said that last night. I was like, oh, party! Oh, I get it. Okay, somebody was
So not
across the
local
country
bar.
partying. I'm like, wow, that's very unexpected. So marketing, we have the party time, we have team time. You can even call it team time, or I don't know, whatever, that's what we call it, right? So, and then I call it just general administrative time. So you're working on your books. You're working on, researching and ordering, deciding what you want to do. I think that those are 4 very simple things. And what's cool about the app is you can type in notes. So, by the way, if you're not already typing with 2 thumbs, and you have children, they're going like this. You're not cool. So get the 2-thumb thing going. Don't be doing this. 2 thumbs when you're typing. You'll work on it. It'll be fine. It's another homework assignment. So, but you can type notes so you can say what you were doing with your team. What were you doing? We were team building. We were out dream building. We were out doing this. We were doing that. And so you define what you were doing within those simple 4 categories and track it and then analyze. How much time are you spending doing what? And then your numbers, you do QuickBooks, will tell you what the results are of all those efforts during the last month.
Thank you.
So I'm not going anywhere. So I have to leave this part though, because she's so bossy.
I know. Oh, thank you so much.